Hi, good evening. It's Ms. Zirkle. A few people asked if I could make a quick tutorial for BCA tables, so here it is. At any time, feel free to pause the video and answer the question or work it out and then press play so you can compare your answer. The first thing you have to have is a balanced equation. So check and see if we've got a balanced equation. The next thing I would do is I would read your problem and I would write what you're given and what you're trying to find in the problem. So as you're reading, you can see that we are given 3 moles of water, and we are trying to go to grams of oxygen. The next thing you need to do is try to determine whether you need a BCA table or not. So the way that you decide if you need a BCA table is if you're going from a different compound to a different compound, or are you going same compound to same compound. So when you look, we're going from water, which is a compound, to oxygen, which is an element. That is different to different. So since we're going from one compound or element to another compound or element, we do need a BCA table. The next thing you need to remember is that the BCA table only holds moles. If you're given anything else, you have to convert before you can get into the table. So we're given 3 moles of water. So since we have moles, we're able to jump straight into the table. We're given 3 moles of water. So BCA table stands for before, change, and after. So with our 3 moles of water, water is a product because it's on the right side of the equation. And you have products after the reaction, not before. So we're going to be able to jump in the table with our 3 moles of water. Now that you're in the table, you need to find what we call the multiplier. You need to take the moles that you're given, 3, divided by the number of the same compound or element from the balanced equation. So 3 moles of water divided by the number of moles from the balanced equation. So 3 divided by 2 would be 1.5. So my multiplier is 1.5. You're now going to use that multiplier to fill in the rest of the table. How does that work? You take your multiplier and you multiply it by the coefficient. So 1.5 times 2 would be 3. And we always put our answers in the change column. To do oxygen, 1.5 times 1, because there's no number in front, so it's understood there's 1, would be 1.5. Water, 1.5 times 2 would give me 3. Now the change row is where you get your answer from. So we're looking for grams of oxygen, so this is oxygen's column. And if I circle that, that tells me my answer is 1.5. But remember, the only unit that can go on the table is moles. So that's actually 1.5 moles of water. Or actually, pardon me, 1.5 moles of oxygen. But from our find, and when we read the problem, we don't want moles of oxygen. We want grams of oxygen. So you will have to convert. So you would take your 1.5 moles of oxygen, put it over 1, draw your lines, drop your words, put where you're going up top, grams of oxygen. And from class, if you recall, there's always a 1 wherever the mole is at. And since you're looking for grams, you have to go to the periodic table and look up your molar mass. So when you look, you have 2 oxygens. You go to the periodic table, and those 2 oxygens are worth 16. The atomic mass is 16. So 2 times 16 is 32. So my molar mass for oxygen is 32. That goes wherever the grams are. That's your molar mass. Then you multiply the top row, 1.5 times 32, which is 48. Then you multiply the bottom row, 1 times 1. And then you divide at the end. So my answer is 48 grams. Have a good night.